Have you heard about this suicide capsule in Switzerland? I would really like to know how you feel about this, because I feel like it romanticizes suicide. And before I get into all of this, full disclosure here, not once in my life have I ever entertained suicide as any kind of option. So I won't pretend like I understand anything about suicide. However, this suicide capsule caught my attention because I have considered assisted suicide and euthanasia to be wise, dignified approaches in cases where a person is, terminally ill and they're suffering with no quality of life and no chance of survival. But this is giving me a creepy vibe. And if you want to look this up, the name of the suicide capsule is Sarco. And it's a coffin-like capsule that a person gets into. Now, there are some videos of it on YouTube, but I couldn't watch those. But the interior of the capsule is flooded with nitrogen, and that very quickly reduces someone's oxygen level from like 21% to 1% in just a few seconds. So when someone gets inside of this capsule, they press a red button to activate this process. Now, I think once they're like inside the Sarco, that they have to answer 3 questions to prove their mental capacity is present. And those questions are: who are you? Where are you? Do you know what happens when you push the red button? Now, once they push the red button, the process starts and death occurs within 5 to 10 minutes from lack of oxygen and carbon dioxide, which leads to hypoxia and hypocapnia. Once they're inside the capsule, I don't think getting out is an option, but you can fact check me on that. And just to be clear here, there are no doctors involved. This isn't euthanasia at all. The person who wants to end their life performs the act themselves, and that's how this is permissible. So Switzerland has been at the forefront of assisted suicide because it's been legal there since like the late 1930s or early 1940s. And I'm not surprised that an invention of this nature came out of Switzerland, but I want to be able to understand this more. I feel like it romanticizes suicide because the inventor makes it out to be a pleasant experience without, any panic or choking. God, y'all hear that storm? Jeez. And there's no way, how could that be possible? Because a person would suffocate. Now, after the red button is pushed, it's a 5 to 10 minute process. 5 to 10 minutes. That would feel like an eternity in a situation like that. Now, I'm not fully knowledgeable about this, which is why I want to know what you guys think. I love your opinions, but right now I feel like this is more like a torture chamber. Plus, if doctors aren't involved, I wonder what the checks and balances are. Like, Sarco claims that young people can't use assisted death services until they have a serious physical illness. Okay, well, who's overseeing that? Because there are also no legal barriers to using Sarco in Switzerland. So if no doctors are involved, who determines eligibility? How do they distinguish between someone who has a physical illness from someone like Lil Peep? Do y'all remember Lil Peep? Fascinating young man, brilliant. But he had an infatuation with dying because he romanticized the idea of the attention he would get from dying. He is on record saying that people will finally love him and see his worth once he's gone. But I don't think he understood that returning to it wouldn't be an option once he left his physical body. And so that's my definition of romanticizing suicide. And he was a mentally ill person who self-medicated with copious amounts of drugs and alcohol. Lil Peep ended up overdosing, but the boy had a death wish and was very vocal about it. So who is responsible for turning the little peeps of this world away from this suicide capsule? I was really bothered and disturbed when I first heard about this. And as I said before, suicide is something that I can't relate to. I can't. But nothing disturbs me more than hearing that someone took their own life. And I feel like that many suicide cases can be prevented. Then someone sets up a suicide shop and makes it accessible and easy for people. And when I say easy, I'm referring to the level of difficulty using this suicide capsule, because I read there is no charge. I mean, did I get fake news here? I mean, maybe I did. I also saw reports from several different sources that said the cost would be $20. I mean, either way, they're just making it too easy. But at the same time, I believe in personal autonomy. So if you're willing, I would love to know your thoughts and opinions about this. So please drop it all below in the comments. And I can't go without saying, if you're watching this and you're struggling, there is help available. Always 24/7. You can call or text 988 and you will be routed to the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline, where you will receive free confidential support from a trained, skilled crisis worker.